Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Farm Down NFL podcast with me, Jim, Denver Dave, and Seattle Han. We're here to talk about the NFL, boys and girls. How are we doing?
Not
Very
bad.
good.
Week 2 and those two have already bleeding bailed. No commitment.
Well, we're used to Finn going, but
Yeah.
Punk's taking the time out as well because of his loss. And we get Hannah, who is a recurring guest. We love having you on, Hannah. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this week.
I love being here.
You're going to do the entire pod.
I know. So excited.
We've got all of week 1 to go through. We've got the picks for week 2 with the people. So let's go all the way back to the very first game of the regular season. Last Thursday, it was the Kansas City Chiefs 27, the Baltimore Ravens 20. Chiefs toast their first game of the season with a win. That nails their status as the team to beat in the AFC. Great game for them. Mahomes using the speed of Rashee Rice and rookie Xavier Worthy. 2 touchdowns, including one on his first touch for Worthy. For the Ravens, it looked just like I predicted, with their defense hollow, the O-line shaky with right guard Daniel Falele, in particular, looking like a turnstile. This game would have been a blowout if it wasn't for Lamar playing hero ball and Isaiah likely stepping up as fellow tight end Mark Andrews seems to step down. What do we reckon? Great game, but Ravens come up short.
Thoroughly entertaining. I thought this was a great game to start the NFL season. Probably the best game of the weekend, in all honesty. I think it was in pure entertainment. Stayed up to watch it, knackered on Friday. But no, that was really, really good game. Just stop cutting to Taylor Swift. No one's interested. No one that matters is interested.
I am so excited that
No
you
one's
mentioned Taylor
interested.
Swift because
No one's interested.
Ready. I am ready. Okay, so football-wise, agreed. Brilliant
Just forget
game.
about
I
her,
love it.
stick to football.
I love it when they match up. I think it's always really exciting. Got some of the best in the league to do it. On the
Proper
topic,
box office, isn't it?
yeah. On the topic of Taylor Swift,
Oh,
many points. First point, I'm not a Swiftie. I am not a Swiftie, right? Since she's been dating Travis, I've kind of got a little bit more into her, but a lot of my friends are Swifties and they have been engaging with NFL more, which is exciting because especially as a girl, there's not a whole range of female NFL fans that I have in my group, and now lots of them are talking about it. Secondly, Taylor's not asking to be shown all the time. This is because they know they're going to get the numbers in. She is one of the most recognizable, famous people in the world right now, and she wants to support her boyfriend. Similarly, when Travis goes to the Eras tour, they spend a lot of the time showing him. So it works both ways. And, it's just 2 young people who are really nice, supporting each other. Lovely. Thirdly, finally, the only real impact, other than people being like, oh, Taylor Swift, get off my TV, the only real impact that it's having is there is now a complete generation of young girls who are spending more time with the males in their life because they are trying to get into football because Taylor's into it. So really, the only output that's happening is we might get a generation of girls that don't have daddy issues, which for me is a big old win, because if they're spending more time and it's not like forced or whatever, I just think, okay, yes, it's annoying as a football fan, like you want it to be about the football, but it's just nice. These 2 young kids who are both very talented at what they do have found very nice people, and it's just a nice thing. It's just a nice thing. And I know everyone's going to be mad that I've said that, but I love Travis. I love the whole Kelsey family. I've got 0 things against Taylor Swift, and if they're happy and it's not impacting his performance, have at it. She's a cutie. Let's go.
I think it is positive for the league. I like the fact that more girls are getting into it and making it more accessible. We've said it before. It's just, they do get milked, but it's not their fault. It's the NFL wanting to put them on the TV. Back to the game, though. I want to talk about the Ravens and how they lost this game. I did say it before the game. You can't lose your defensive coordinator, all your backroom staff, basically, your Pro Bowl middle linebacker to a division rival, and expect to still be as good. And Derrick Henry comes in, and they don't play him as like he's outside linebacking when he's an inside runner. Sorry, and they're trying to outside run him. He doesn't do that. I said the wrong thing. Outside running, he's inside runner, and they completely misused him.
I'm not going to have a poppy of saying the wrong thing. I do that quite regularly. But let's not overplay this. It was a toenail. That was the difference between it. It was a toenail, Jim. It was not. It really, really was
not. And then they had to get a 2-point conversion.
They would have had to
get
a 2-point. There's no saying that they would have, but there's also no saying that they wouldn't.
Yeah,
it was a close game. Mahomes made mistakes, but was brilliant. Jackson made mistakes, but was also brilliant. I think it doesn't surprise me too much about Derrick Henry, because if you remember week one, not week one, last season, I was the one saying he was on the other side of the hill, where everyone was telling me I was crazy.
You were.
I think, yeah, I'm not crazy. I'm being proven right.
A year ago.
The thing is, but no, it wasn't. It was 6 months ago. But I was, if you look at a running back going into a new team, a new scheme that he hasn't played in before. He's played in one scheme basically for his entire career.
It was set up for him.
Yeah. He's gone into a new scheme. He's had to adapt. He's had to adapt to inside and outside running. And I disagree with him being an inside runner. He's been an outside runner for a long time. One of my mates is a Jags fan, and you count his yards in hundreds against the Jags.
Against the Jags, you can run anything with Derrick Henry.
Always outside running. So I think he has that available. It is available to basically do that. So, yeah, I think it was a very, very close game between two really good teams, and I think we'll see them play each other again this season.
Nah.
Yeah, you're not going to say that because
nope.
You're a Steeler fan, so and your rose tinted glasses.
Yeah, I think just quickly on Derrick Henry as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think he just needs more time to settle in, because also, new system, all of that good stuff, but also he's come from a team where he was the Tennessee Titans. Like, you thought of Tennessee and King Henry, that was it. Now he's moved to a team where they have weapons on weapons. He's going to have to figure that out in his brain, as well as the whole new team, the whole new structure, whatever. Also making his mark in a place where there's a lot of big names.
You might have the most rushing yards every week.
Yeah, but I think that's only going to help him. It's going to lighten the load. It's going to open the field. Because how many times did we see teams stack the box and he'd still come through it? He's not that player anymore. It's now going to open up the field and it's going to make it easier. But he's going to get less rushing attempts, which in a weird way is a good thing.
Maybe I should hold him until the second half then. Wait until the other team's tired and then run him in.
It doesn't matter with Derrick Henry. If you get him when he's fresh, it doesn't matter, does it? He's not human.
Yeah.
We'll see. I wrote an entire piece about King Henry, all right? I love Derrick Henry. It's just a shame he's at the Ravens.
Shut up moaning about him then.
He's at the Ravens now. He deserves everything he gets. On to Saturday night and into Brazil. The Eagles getting a 34-29 win over the Packers. That sounds like a great game. It wasn't. In what looked like more like a week one preseason game, both teams were sloppy. Philly turned the ball over on the first two possessions inside their own 20, but the Packers only get field goals from both of those. Both defenses were bad, but the Packers were worse. If not for Saquon, who had 2 touchdowns on his debut, A.J. Brown and Jaden Reed, this game would have been a no-watch affair. Then you have Jordan Love suffering an MCL sprain on the final play of the game. So, what do you reckon?
The difference, you're right, was red zone turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay had 2 takeaways in the red zone early and only took 6 points. Eagles had 1 red zone early and took 7.
Yeah.
There's too many times also the Packers couldn't convert on third downs. I haven't got the stats in front of me, but it was just constant, just third down, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. I think the Eagles center struggled a few times. It's not too much of a sort of surprise. Kelsey moves on, the other Kelsey, the good one. He moves on, and he's perhaps the best center in the game at the moment, or was. And all of a sudden you got a rookie, and then you've got snaps going array. You can't do the tush push. Timing looks a bit out. And it would have been easy for Jalen Hurts previously. Every quarterback struggles under center when they come into the league, because 99% of slaps in college are done at shotgun. And, it's going to be a bit of an adapting time for Jalen Hurts. But I don't feel like the Eagles had to get out of third gear to win the game.
Yeah, I agree. Also, Saquon got 3 touchdowns on his debut for the Eagles, not 2, Jimothy. I got you. Don't worry.
Damn.
I know. Sorry.
He just racked him up.
Yeah, amazing. Absolute masterclass. Reminded me why everyone has raved about him forever. Just put him in a team that has passion, and see what he can do. I think the pitch was horrific. I don't know if you saw any videos or pictures of it. It was disgusting. I mean, it's always going to be a struggle when Kelsey left. Always. He is the best centre to ever do it. He is my personal favourite man of all time, and it was always going to be challenging. He was the first person to say that he snaps in a weird way, and so Jalen playing with that weird snap, getting into that rhythm, the tush push, all of that, the rapport that they had, it wouldn't have mattered when he went. It was going to be a difficult transition, and I think if they can still play that well, like you said, in third gear, in a new country, in a pitch that horrific, week one, hungry dogs run faster, as the Eagles like to say. They love being the underdog, and I think they learnt their lesson from coming out too quick out of the barracks, and they're going to storm it continuously.
Never ever want to come too quick. That's terrible. Never ever want to do that.
Exactly.
I think the big shame on this is the fact that we were robbed of an ending, because you
The
come out of
last play of the game, though.
No, yeah, I know, but you come out. No. I don't mean because of the injury.
Oh,
I don't mean because of the injury. I mean, you come out of the third quarter
Mhm.
and there's 21 points scored in the third quarter, and you're like, oh, this is going to be good.
Mhm.
And the fourth quarter just sort of fizzled out into nothing. And it was like, okay, you wanted a big, a 2-minute drill or something to get you excited. It just kind of fizzled into nothing. Bit weird.
It was great to see Saquon there. He was a massive boost for that offense, because we saw at the end of last season they didn't have that. And so if it wasn't working on the pass game, it just all stopped. Whereas Saquon managed to keep him going. Very similar to what CMC did for San Fran when he went from Carolina to a contender. He wants to win stuff. He's in a team that now is able to win stuff.
And also, I didn't realize he's a Pennsylvania boy.
Yeah,
Saquon. So everyone always plays better when they're in their home
so he
team.
went to Penn State, didn't he? I think in college.
So.
Yeah,
he was a Penn State boy. Yeah, so that was that game. Obviously for the Packers, only one of 4 red zone trips worked for Green Bay. If it wasn't a busted coverage, they struggled. And then, of course, on the last play of the game, Jordan Love goes down. So then refusing to put him on IR, right? So they can potentially bring him back whenever. But they have to wait
someone
4
on
weeks.
IR. They have to stay there for 4 weeks.
Yeah, they don't want to
They
do
think
that.
They think he could miss up to 8 weeks, though.
Yeah, it's an MCL sprain. It's not good.
Yeah, you don't want to come back
sprains.
off that
a sprain is a very, very wide margin. A sprain can keep you out for a long time, or it could be a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we'll have to monitor that, and obviously we will. On to Sunday, starting the 6 o'clock games, and the Bengals. Upset of the weekend was undoubtedly the Patriots going into Cincinnati and getting a win, 16-10. The Bengals were held scoreless in the first half, with the one drive that wasn't a 3-and-out, saw a Mike Gesicki touchdown chalked off out of bounds, and the next play, Tanner Hudson got the ball punched out by Kyle Duggar on the 1-yard line. Beautiful. It didn't get much better in the second half, as the Patriots' punt was fumbled and recovered by New England, leading to a 13-0 lead. The Bengals would turn it over on downs before finally getting a touchdown from Zach Moss, but this was a stinker for the ages. Who else was happy about this game? I lost money on it, but I'm still happy that it happened.
I lost a lot of money on this game. I'm going to be really quick on this one. I think the Bengals underestimated the Patriots.
We all did.
Everything the Bengals did just backfired. There was no momentum. There was no upside to anything that they did. The Patriots were good, not great, but they did what they needed to do. The run game was a lot better and defense ruled. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. That interception, like that punch out interception on the goal line.
It was great.
I think I rewound that about 6 times because I was like, no, that can't have just happened. Disappointing. I like the Bengals when they play like they care. And they just felt really out of sorts and disorganized last week. So hopefully they can bring it back.
Joe Burrow was flexing his hand quite a lot. They kept cutting to him like he was, again, not healthy. It's bloody week 1 and he's already acting like he's injured. So there's a lot of mess going on in Cincinnati. T. Higgins is maybe not playing this weekend again. Jamar Chase, until he gets a contract, is ill. So yeah, not looking too good at the moment in Cincinnati. I'm very concerned. On to the next game.
Devastated.
I am. Let's do the Texans 29, Colts 27, contender for game of the week in the AFC South. As two of the best young quarterback talents duked it out. It was a tense first half with an early contender for throw of the year, with that 60-yard bomb to Alec Pierce for a touchdown from Anthony Richardson. Ultimately, it was the new faces for the Texans that came up with the difference. Joe Mixon had 159 rushing yards and a touchdown on his debut from the Bengals. So Stephon Diggs had 2 touchdowns after getting moved from the Bills. The Colts got the game to within the field goal, but the Texans got the first downs needed to see this one out, and the final score 29-27.
My game of the week. I loved it. I think CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson are incredible. I think they're great leaders, and just they have football brains way ahead of their years. And I think for teams like the Texans and the Colts, who I've always had a bit of a soft spot for, I can't tell you why, and to have seen them be so bad for so long, both of them, to have this youth injection. And like you said, with all of the rookies they got last year and this year, their new acquisitions in Diggs and Mixon, it's so exciting to see these teams want to do well. Like, it felt like up until they got these two, both the Colts and the Texans, it just felt they were like, oh, we're in the NFL, but really, are we? Like, oh no, oh, we're playing football again, oh God. And I just think it's given them both a big injection of excitement and passion, and I'm excited. I can't wait to see where both of these teams go. It's going to be great.
I struggle with this a little bit, only because I don't think the Colts can play this way every week. They had the fewest offensive plays out of any team this week in total. So they only had 43 offensive plays. That's because the reason for that is really, really straightforward. There were so many explosive plays that their offense just came off the field because they kept scoring. That's not sustainable in the NFL. It's great to watch. And I'm going to sound like a bit of a broken record. Listen, props to both teams, because this kind of doesn't matter who won, who lost, because there's positives all over the place for both teams. I want to see more from Anthony Richardson in the quarterback capacity. Competing less than 50% is not good. A couple of times when he's thrown from the pocket and the ball's a bit shaky and feet aren't set, and all, I get that that's the way he plays, but they have Shane Steichen who will sort all of that out. And the best thing was Anthony Richardson didn't put himself in harm's way too often. There's a couple of times when you were thinking, okay, try not to do that.
Yeah.
But it's not like last season where it was every single play was lead with your head and, watch this, mom. And it was just, you don't need to do that. So
you're not playing FSU now, boy.
Yeah. So
please protect yourself.
You just want to see more from him as a quarterback there. And the interception wasn't that great either, but he's still really young. Like, in terms of his experience and what he's played on the field, give him the benefit of the doubt, move on with it and say it's a shame he lost, but lots of positives.
They're both younger than Bo Nix. So, on to the next game. We're going to do a Florida face-off that was pretty entertaining between the Dolphins and the Jags, if incredibly messy. Jacksonville took advantage in the first half with touchdowns for Travis Etienne and rookie wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr., but the Jags would freeze up in the second half. 4 punts, a turnover on downs, and most importantly, a fumble at the 1-yard line by Travis Etienne after Javon Holland made the tackle and jumped on by Kader Kaho. The next play, Tua finds Tyreek Hill for an 80-yard touchdown that brought the Dolphins just 3 points back. A missed field goal, then 2 made ones by Miami, completed the comeback, and the final score, 20-17.
This was a rough game to watch.
Wasn't it?
Oh.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those games where the highlight reel would be very, very quick. I think both teams are capable of playing much better. And obviously week one, you got to take week one with a pinch of salt and all of that, but I wasn't set on fire by either of them. And they're usually, especially the Dolphins, they're usually a team I really enjoy watching. I think they're fun and creative and make interesting, sometimes good, sometimes bad, interesting decisions, but I always find them an interesting team to watch. And I just didn't get that this week. So I'm hoping it's just the week one nerves and that they will actually step up their game again.
I think the Dolphins just let themselves down in key moments at times.
Yeah.
Jacksonville convert two of 10 third downs. Well, there's your problem.
They do find ways to lose games, don't they, the Jags? It's infuriating that
They
they're a better team than
love
their record ever suggests, but
Yeah.
snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
absolutely.
My Jags friend says that all the time. It doesn't matter. I'll text him going, Jags are looking good, 24-0 up. He's like, no, it's not over yet.
Yeah,
It's
hold
not
on.
over yet. Watch this.
Got a second half to go yet.
Yeah.
We're going to do some paddling now.
Looking out the window, that's a paddling.
It's a new season, but there's still some paddling going on. So we're going to do the Panthers 10, Saints 47.
That's a paddling.
New season, new head coach, new GM, same results for the Carolina Panthers. They made Derek Carr look great with that 47-10 whooping.
Derek Carr only got 200 yards. Let's not go nuts.
Yeah, but there'll be the calls for him to win MVP already. We had that from
No,
Punk
no.
when he was at the Raiders.
Yeah, that's because he's an idiot.
My heart breaks for Bryce Young because he's just not a good quarterback.
Well,
Why are you? Hang on, they feel sorry
But he
for
was good in
Carolina, not
college.
Bryce Young. He's stealing a living.
No, I had so much faith in him. I loved watching his college highlights. I
mhm.
think he's, it just whenever he does bad, that him doing bad hurts more than any other rookie quarterback that's come in and
'Cause he looks
maybe
12
not
years
performed
old.
as well. Probably, yeah, because he looks like a little baby. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
come on. But I just don't think he's cut out for the NFL, especially as a quarterback. And that pains me to say, and God forbid if he ever heard this, I would deny that it was me. But I just think he isn't football intelligent enough. And maybe that's still because he plays on the Panthers and the Panthers aren't very football intelligent, full stop, period. Maybe he's not learning enough. Maybe I don't know, but it upsets me that not that the Panthers are shit, because I don't care about the Panthers. It upsets me that Bryce Young is shit.
I'm going to hit him up on WhatsApp and say, Hannah says you.
But I love him. But tell him that
And
I love him.
he's going to reply back in crayon.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he will.
Giants fans lined up to boo Daniel Jones after his, what I would call standard performance over the Vikings. A pick six and insipid play led to a 28-6 beatdown by Minnesota, who looked all right with Aaron Jones in the backfield.
Oh, you better believe that's a paddling.
Since his new contract, he's thrown more pick sixes than touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Stat of the week.
Yeah, my favorite stat of the
And I
week.
can't even sound excited when I say that either.
It's just painful, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
painful. I'm
It's
so
almost like they
schme-
shouldn't have drafted him or given him a new contract. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
And the fact that next. It angers
Can
me.
we just talk about that kit? Wow.
Yeah,
Let's
okay.
not talk about that kit.
The kit doesn't anger me. The kit
It
is
wasn't even the
beautiful.
worst part about the weekend for them.
It is genuinely the worst kit I
it's
remember seeing.
Awful.
Maybe the Jags mustard one is
Yeah.
Yeah,
Goes.
that's not great.
a contender.
The Cowboys devoured the Browns 33-17 in Cleveland.
That's a paddling.
I was watching a clip of Pardon My Take where they were questioning if Deshaun Watson is now so bad a quarterback, he might be a better human being than player. I don't know.
That's rough.
He is an awful human being who's
He's
now
being
been
sued again.
got
He
another,
is, and
yeah,
they might be able to get him out of his mega contract.
they better
Well,
not.
I was listening to, because I'm just this sad, I was listening to a Cap podcast. Not going to say it because they don't get any advertising out of me.
Yeah.
And basically what they were saying is that if the Browns can't find a legal way out of it, what they might have to do is offer him a new 5-year deal, 5-year extension. Because when you offer a 5-year extension, what you can do is give it him all as a bonus. So you pay him all in one go and it spreads it over the 5 years and then cut him.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's literally the only way they can do it. And
They
then they
can't
have to
afford
eat
that.
that for 5 years. Well, monetary wise, they may not be able to afford it, but in terms of cap value, that might be what they have to do. Because when you give someone a bonus, you have to pay all of that money into, when it's guaranteed even, you have to pay into like a fund that the NFL then keeps. And Roger Goodell paints the inside of his basement with it, but never mind. And I don't know if the Browns necessarily do have that volume. It might be the only way they can get out of it.
There are a few podcasts that are talking about they should just dump him like the Broncos did, eat the contract. Now,
Yeah.
Dave, please tell me that they can't do that because this is so ginormous that they couldn't possibly even think about doing this.
It's hard. Listen, I'm not going to make this Broncos centric because let's be honest, no one wants to
No.
hear that. But the reason the Broncos can eat so much dead cap is because most of the roster is young, very young. Most of the roster hasn't signed a second deal yet. I mean, the fact that we've been able to eat this much dead cap and give Pat Surtain the highest paid corner contract in the NFL is testament to how little everyone else is paid. And that's the reason we've been able to do it. The Browns can't do that. They got Myles Garrett, they got Karamoa, they got Ward, they got so many players.
Amari
Chubb's
Cooper
on a big contract. Amari Cooper's on a big contract, although he'll be gone soon. And Jerry Jeudy, lol. But I don't think there's the scope for them to do that. They're in a predicament. I think what they will do is hold out and hope he becomes good.
No.
That's what I think he'll do.
I agree. I think that's what they're going to do, but he's not going to become good.
I don't think they should.
A, because he's not very good.
No,
and B, you cannot be a quarterback of a team if your team don't respect you.
Oh, yes, you can.
Well,
you can't be a good team. And
I agree with that.
There is zero respect.
Did you see the video of when he went to go and help a player off the ground?
Yeah,
and the guy was like, cough, man.
Yeah, no, and they won't because he's a bad person.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're the best quarterback. Well, I'm not going to say that because it would matter. If he was the best quarterback in the world, no one would care about his discrepancies, but whatever, it's fine. I love this game.
That's a different issue.
Yeah. But I just think that the Browns are they're such an emotional team. And what I mean when I say that is they're so like Eagles. Like the Eagles are an emotional team because their fan base is so emotional. Like they're crazy. Hey, none of that. They're crazy, passionate, all of that. But you know that you go in. I think the problem with the Browns, especially in this situation, is the players are so passionate, the players care so much, and so when someone like Watson comes in and is dog shit and a bad person and inspires zero confidence in anyone, they're mad. And
I disagree.
It's not a get pissed off, do better.
I completely agree.
I disagree. The only reason being, I think a lot of players went to Cleveland. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying my opinion is the opposite. I think so many players went to Cleveland hoping to win. And he's preventing that. This was their big chance to win.
Yeah,
not necessarily because of the person he is. It's because of the quarterback he is, and the fact that he's probably a bit of a dick in the changing room.
And they found his burner account on Twitter where he's defending himself and torching the O-line, saying it's their fault and the coach's fault for giving them the wrong plays and stuff.
Oh, we've all done that.
Exactly.
You know that account that keeps on saying, Jim,
Madden.
You need more Dave. I don't know whose that is.
That's your official account, Dave.
Yeah, no, Dave, that I completely agree with that. And I think, unfortunately, they sold themselves up the river. I don't know why you would think I wouldn't follow Deshaun Watson into a supermarket. Like, I'm not going to follow him into battle. And I don't know why they thought they would, why they thought he would be capable of leading them. But you're right. I think a lot of them did join because they thought this is it, this is our chance, and it up.
He was asked in midweek if he thought he could get back to being elite, and he said, "No, I'm still an elite quarterback."
Was he ever? I don't.
Yeah.
He was elite. He was one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league a few years ago.
He led the league in passing yards in his last
He was incredible. Season. But that guy died on a massage table somewhere.
Yes, he did.
We've got one more. We've got one more paddling. I don't want to keep talking about the Browns anymore. They got paddled. No. One more paddling. The Commanders looked okay, but it's baby steps for Jaden Daniels and Dan Quinn. The Bucs, on the other hand, were consistent on offense. 4 passing touchdowns for Baker Mayfield, with 2 going to Mike Evans. Commanders kicker Cade York missed 2 field goals and was unceremoniously cut after the game, cutting him 2 games from the Browns, getting a compensation pick for him. Beautiful. Final score was the Buccaneers 37, Commanders 20.
That's a paddling.
This game was lost in key moments. Jaden Daniels looked okay.
Yep.
Austin Nicklo looked a shadow of himself, obviously, because I picked him up in fantasy. That's all I have to say about this game. Hannah's lover boy of Baker Mayfield, so crack on, over to you.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Really?
I think, do you know what? I really struggle with caring about either of these teams, I'll be honest. In the past. But I've kept an eye on them. because of Bake, 100% because of Bake. And Mike Evans, Jesus, just wow. Like, what a player. I don't think they're Super Bowl caliber by a long shot, but I think they're going to be giving us lots of entertaining games. I think they've built on what they had last year in a big way. And that's always fun to see when you keep a lot of your core team, and you can see them improve season on season. And yeah, I am a big fan. I got some Bucks for talk about later on. But yeah, I think it's great fun. I love that people are vibing with Baker. When he came into the league in Cleveland, and I think Cleveland gave up on him too easy. And I think he is a better quarterback than he gives himself credit for, and a lot of people give him credit for, because he's a great leader. And Jim, if you had the time and you cut together every time I said that, like, basically the power of friendship is what makes a team good, it would be a whole podcast on its own. But I think he's a great leader, and I'm excited. I'm excited to watch the Bucks this year. Ooh. Feels weird.
Anything you want to say, Dave, before we move on?
Could not disagree more.
He definitely inspires people. He's always done it for his entire career. He's done it. He was a walk-on at Oklahoma. He managed to get the Browns to draft him first overall because of his interaction in the locker room with the players that were there already. And he played injured at Cleveland. He shouldn't have done. And they used it as an excuse to move him on. He did all right in Carolina, but it was a difficult place to play. He went to the Rams and played, got a win after a couple of days of being there.
Oh,
and now he's got a chance at Tampa Bay. Taking on after Brady is obviously not easy, but he's making it his own. He was expected to be just dumped out after about 6 games.
After Kyle Trask.
No. Kyle Trask was drafted. He's the backup, clearly the backup, right?
He took over from who actually took over from Brady? Who was it first season afterwards? I can't remember. Like, genuinely gone out of my mind. All I'm thinking of is James Winston,
it was Baker.
Which it obviously wasn't. Was it Baker straight away?
I think it was Baker.
I think it might have been. Are you thinking of when he left
Brady's...
the Patriots and it was Zach Wilson, which was
No.
Anyway, he is a leader.
I genuinely thought there was another one between them.
And he puts himself on the line in the game as well. He will dive for that first down. He will fight for the pylon. He doesn't make business decisions in that way. And he does. Yeah. He's an accurate quarterback. One of his best traits at Oklahoma was his accuracy. He could thread the ball into a tight window. His problem was he was a bit of an idiot off the field sometimes. He would get into trouble. But
now that I agree with.
Being in Tampa Bay, it's got to be a temptation city. But there we go. That's the end of the paddlings. We're going to go back to now doing our teams, and we're going to start with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, you motherfuckers! Okay. All right, I'm putting cases on all you huh? I run here. You just live here. King Kong ain't got on me.
You all picked against my Steelers.
You need to calm
down. You picked against your Steelers.
I'm not calming down.
Jim, you picked against them.
I could not have picked. Did you hear the podcast? There was no way I could have got out of this podcast or I'd be able to finish this podcast if I'd have actually agreed. Well, if I'd picked the Steelers, so I had to pick the Falcons. All right,
peer pressure then.
Yeah.
Liar.
Some say it would have been insane to pick the Steelers to win that game, playing away against a team that many think will be challenging in the postseason. But those people forgot they know nothing about the 2024 Pittsburgh Steelers. Justin Fields was a late starter after a calf injury to Russell Wilson. Fields kept the offense on the gridiron long enough to give the defense a break, something that didn't happen last year. The defense swarmed Kirk Cousins in his debut. TJ Watt was the player of the week, no doubt. Chris Boswell kicked 6 field goals and a punt, and the Steelers went 18-10, and I loved every second of it.
5 field goals.
6.
But you won 15?
18.
Oh, okay. My bad. Sorry.
18-10.
I obviously gave up after 15.
And he had to punt in the end because our punter got injured for the season.
Oh, yeah.
He's out.
7 minutes into the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That's when your offense eventually got you into the red zone.
It doesn't matter.
7 minutes into the fourth quarter. It kind of does.
It doesn't matter, mate. Well, we'll get our touchdowns next week. We're having our touchdowns this weekend coming.
Jesus, listen, if you're happy with that you're happy with the defense, absolutely.
Oh,
the offense has a lot of improvements that need to be made. Defense was fantastic. That's why I picked him up in fantasy. But yeah, I think
they're about to have a field day
on offense. Okay.
Yeah.
We're talking about last week, not next week, by the way.
I mean, you'll know how I feel about the Falcons. Poorly. Not a fan. And I can't tell you why. I can tell you why. It's because of that Super Bowl they lost to New England 27-3. And that
was like 10 years ago.
Cemented the hatred. And then I think I know like 2 Falcons fans and they're not very nice people. So that's probably why.
What if Baker Mayfield went to the Falcons?
Well, here's my problem. I love Kirk Cousins. I think he is maybe not the best quarterback of all time, but again, I just think he's a great leader. I think he's a really brilliant person. I think he does a lot of good. And when he went to the Falcons, it broke my heart. And watching them this week, it broke my heart. It really did. And so it's similar thing. Him and Baker are on like similar levels of love for me. And it was horrific. I wanted him specifically to do well, but then I wanted everyone else on the Falcons to do badly, which kind of happened. But yeah, I thought, I do love defensive football, so watching the Steelers give a bit of a masterclass in that was good fun. But I just won't be over Kirk going to the Falcons anytime soon.
I quite like Atlanta, actually. I don't mind them.
You just like disappointing teams, though, Dave. I get it. It's okay.
Yeah, I quite like Seattle.
That's what I meant. That is who I was referring to.
Well, as I can now bask in being the top team in the AFC North, let's move on to the next team, and that's the Denver Broncos 20, Seattle Seahawks 26. Hannah, talk to me about this game.
Well,
it was definitely a game of two halves.
Yes, it was.
Cliche of all cliches.
So, Mike McDonald, I'm excited. As I've just said, I love defensive football. Everyone in the off-season, in the pre-season, was saying it's Legion of Boom 2.0. I don't think it's that good because, let's be honest,
I think it might be.
Because Legion of Boom was elite, but maybe Legion of Boom 1.5, maybe 1.75. I think it was so much fun to watch. It's honestly the reason I fell in love with the Seahawks is how dynamic the defense is. The offense, there's a little left to be desired. Definitely, I think that's going to come. I think we've struggled with a few key things over the last couple of years, not just the beginning of this season. I feel confident that we're going to get into our stride. I know Gino takes a little bit of time to warm up, and I'm hoping over the next couple of weeks he will. I don't know why we forgot that we had brilliant wide receivers in Bobo and DK, but we forgot that we did. So yeah, just need to build that confidence back up for the offense. But similar to the how you feel about the Steelers game, I am so excited about our defense. Oh my God. And we really struggled last year, the last couple of seasons. So yeah, and Denver, do you know what? I got a lot to talk about for Denver in the rookie bit. Young team coming on. Yeah, had a bloody good crack at it, but you're not going for our defense. That's just what a welcome to the NFL moment. Bo Nix first game and he's got to face off against them.
Could have been easier. Could have been easier. Yeah.
I think it might be as hard as you can get. The only place that would have been worse is if you're playing against the Steelers with that defense in Pittsburgh and it's -9 and snowing with a gale. That's the only way it could have been worse. You go into the West Coast, it always rains. Been to Seattle, all it does is fucking rain. That's all it does. And the defense was incredible. I think it was incredibly hard for Bo Nix. Incredibly hard. There's a guy called Tim Jenkins who does a lot of, actually called the QB Room, and he does a lot of analysis of his throws and that kind of thing. The amount of drop passes. Do you know how many yards after the catch the Broncos got in this game?
Go on.
0. He was not helped in any way by his wide receivers. Was inaccurate on times, but was under pressure. But at no point did he look stressed or
Rattled.
under duress or rattled.
Yeah, I think so.
He didn't. He did genuinely. Jim,
I saw him moving into pressure. I mean, he
I
made
know
2
that-
of 12 completions of 10 yards or
right.
more.
He was 26 of 42,
interceptions in that.
138.
He was asked to throw the ball 42 times. When you're asked to do
Always
that,
behind
and
the line.
the reason, well, yeah, because that was the game plan. That's what he's being told to do. As a rookie, you are
Don't doubt
not
that.
going in and changing things at the line of scrimmage. You're not doing that, Jim. It's just not happening.
No, I know.
Roethlisberger did in his first season. Move away from that, though.
He
That's
needs
not
a
the precedent.
better coordinator, doesn't he?
But I think what he was, if you think about it, he's gone into a stadium where where they are incredibly loud. The defense was fantastic. His first play is in the red zone. You can't just have a gimme on your first play. It's like, okay, you have to immediately go into red zone play. That's really hard. You know, the interception from Singletary was literally in the red zone. It's like, okay, you can't just have a handoff. It has to immediately go into from the beginning. There was no momentum. It was just really, really, really difficult. It was a bad day at the office. The pressure was just incredible. They played zone constantly, and basically said, you're going to have to beat us over the top. The offensive line didn't do its work. I think we really missed Cush in the center. Wattenberg didn't have a good day. But no, I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people think. PFF seem to have it in for him for some reason. I don't know why.
Don't worry about PFF, mate.
I know, but
certain teams.
It's just a lot of people love PFF, but I like Chase Daniel as well. Chase Daniel is the QB room actually, and he did a little bit of analysis on it and said, look, it was bad, but it wasn't as bad as people think. But being asked to throw it that many times, it wasn't the right thing to do. No. Ideally, you don't want to be playing Steelers second game.
No,
it is what it is.
Although he's not here, I do actually have Finn's thoughts on this game as well. He'd actually do something towards this pod. So I'm going to read. Just imagine Finn's talking harsh. Now. This is we love Finn. These are his words, not mine. Firstly, what a difference this D is. It was back to an enjoyable watch, and every time Denver had the ball, I was confident the D would come and make a big play, which they did on many occasions. The game is exactly how I see the rest of the season going. D will keep us in the game and come up with big plays, but boy, the offense needs some work. We still have all the weapons on offense, but until we get the O-line sorted and give Geno some time, we won't be able to get the offensive weapons into the game. Credit to Mike for switching the game at halftime to a more run focus in the second half, exactly what we needed. And we then saw the offense grow into the game. Love the defensive acquisitions made during the offseason as well. Dodson looked quality in the middle. He's ever on that defensive line. And that was Finn's thoughts.
I don't think it was Mike McDonald who switched from a run focus game. It's probably the offense, but again, the
gets credit for it.
Yeah, the adaptation that they did at halftime won the game. Yeah. But no, too many penalties from Denver as well. I think we had 8 or 9 penalties in this game, which again were at key times. But no, I didn't think it was as bad as a lot of people were making out. You go on Twitter, I mean, some of the people on Twitter, what are you guys on? And he didn't look, you'll come onto this with your rookie piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think he looked that flustered, which is a big thing. Caleb Williams, now he looked
giving all of it away. Calm down, Dave. We'll get round to that game.
Listen, I'm just saying.
I want to move on.
Go on.
Let's move on. The other team that we represent is the Las Vegas Raiders. And fighting in the end zone, fighting in the stands, it can only be a Raiders game.
I like that though. Especially against the Chargers.
I was surrounded by pimps, rapists, and murderers. It was like being in the stands at a Los Angeles Raiders game.
The predicted onslaught of Gardner Minshew never appeared. Sorry, Punk. It wasn't a pretty game. The first quarter Alex Mattison touchdown was eventually overrun by 3 Cameron Dicker field goals, and then fourth quarter touchdowns from J.K. Dobbins and rookie Ladd McConkey moved the Chargers clear. While rookie offensive tackle Joe Alt had Max Crosby in his pocket all day. Impressive. Final score was the Raiders 10, Chargers 22.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew was all right in this game. He wasn't the problem.
There was no onslaught.
No, but the fact that they couldn't get any massive run game started was a bit of an issue. And Joel, I mean, I was talking about Bo Nix having a difficult, first assignment in the NFL. Imagine being Joel and you're standing there against Max Crosby.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And look what he did.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was, I think it was, the Raiders had opportunities in this game. And I think they can probably come out of it feeling disappointed. And this game wasn't a 20. This is going to sound stupid. I hope you know what I mean. This wasn't a 22-10 game. It was close for so long, and they just kind of accelerated away in the fourth quarter. It was a tight game.
Yeah, I think the Raiders usually don't come out firing on all cylinders early in the season. I think they have promise. I think they can and will get better. Again, broken record. Here I am. I think Gardner is going to fit in really well with their vibes. I can't think of a better word to use than vibes, because he's a bit of a loose cannon.
Until they pick up a rookie next season and stick him on the block.
Well, but good vibes. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I agree with you, Dave. I think the Chargers. It's not like the Chargers looked amazing. They were good. They had pretty good moments. But I think, the scoreline overinflates the Chargers and does a disservice to the Raiders.
Yeah. I think the Raiders' main issue is the same as the Seahawks. Defense is probably okay. Need a bit of work on offense, get things going. I hope to see the tight ends a bit more involved. They've got two good tight ends either side. Run a bit more 12-man. Yeah, didn't really happen in this game, but not too much of a surprise.
Let's mop up the other games then from Sunday. Let's do the Cardinals and the Bills. This was a messy, fun game, in my opinion. The Cardinals getting out to a 17-3 lead in the first half. Josh Allen fired back with 2 receiving touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns to see them end the game. Bills 34, Cardinals 28. And we got the kickoff return from Cardinals returner DJ Dallas. 96 yards, he snaked his way to the end zone. So that was a nice highlight play there.
Yeah, sure it is. Thanks, DJ. No, I love Josh Allen. I love him. I love watching him. I think he's fun. There's some great plays on both sides. I just think that the Bills, I think they're a really dynamic team. Also, fun fact, a guy tried to catfish me using Josh Allen's picture today. I was there like, oh my God, Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen, and he blocked me immediately. So
Can I ask a question, old man question? What's catfish?
It's when someone uses someone else's photos online to pretend that it's them.
That reminds me of the time I saw Cortland Sutton on Grindr.
Yeah.
Or the time you saw David Hay in the Tyler's KFC.
I did. I saw David Hay today. Genuinely,
you never did.
I did.
But I think they're fun. I think the Bills are a fun team. I think they've got a lot of talent behind them. I've really enjoyed watching them over the last few years. And hate that they had to start so badly in the first half, but I mean, watching Josh Hurdle, I'm watching Josh Hurdle. I could do that all day. Just a monster.
How you feel about him? I feel about Kyler Murray. I'm a huge Kyler Murray fan. I think he's absolute box office.
Did anyone get a picture of them standing next to each other? Because that is an adorable photo I want to see.
It reminds me, right? A long time ago, I was watching Tottenham versus whoever they were playing.
Football analogy.
Jermaine Defoe scored. He run over and started celebrating, and Aaron Lennon came over, and then Luka Modric came over, and then over came Peter Crouch. And it was just like, dude, this is ridiculous. just kneel down or something, because it was just loads and loads of, you can't say midgets anymore, little people, and then Peter Crouch. So that would be Josh Allen and Kyler Murray, really. But yeah, no, I'm a big Kyler Murray fan than I'm Josh Allen, but both box office.
It was a great game.
Also, just to put it out there, like Kyler Murray is still 5'10".
Yeah.
He's not big for an NFL player, but
like I always think he's much smaller than that. But yeah, he's still like, if you were to see him in the street, I'd be like, oh, that's quite a reasonably tall man.
Yeah,
but still quite short.
Average human.
Yeah, but
Dave's a monster
compared
as well.
Compared to Josh Allen,
I'm larger than most NFL players, so yeah.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'8". Not really. I'm 6'2".
No. I was going to say, there's no way he's 6'8".
No.
And anyway, we've got
Anyway, sorry, sidetrack.
one more game before Sunday night. We've got the Tennessee Titans 17, Chicago Bears 24. I don't know which quarterback had it rougher in this game. Caleb Williams not throwing for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns against a decent front seven, or Will Levis, whose head coach Brian Callahan said they would have won the game if they'd punted on every first down in the second half. I mean, that's brutal. I've never heard a head coach come out and say that about their quarterback, that they shouldn't have used him.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Wow.
I think Callahan's out on Will Levis already. I'm not. I'm not a Will Levis fan, and I've slagged him off enough.
We are not.
I don't need to do it now. He's got enough stuff going on his plate. Caleb Williams, really worried. As I've already mentioned, he looked. I don't want to use the word flustered because I don't think that sells it enough, but I don't want to say he was bottling it because that oversells it. It's probably somewhere in the middle. He just looked a bit panicky. When he was at USC last year, defense was fine, but a lot of it was, make it up as you go along. And sort of Lincoln Riley gave him the ability to be able to make plays. In Pac-12, you kind of can do that. You can't do that in the NFL. He'll learn. I think he's good enough. They didn't rush DeAndre Swift anywhere near enough. It's kind of a theme in his career. But yeah, and it's as we said last week, Chicago aren't going to turn it round overnight. They've been the Chicago Bears for a long time.
Yeah.
Keenan had a drop as well, didn't he? I think in the end zone. There was, I'm not too worried about it. He didn't throw any picks. So he's going to get better. He's got the raw talent. We know he's got the raw talent to be.
He didn't throw anything.
No.
He threw under 50% and under 100 yards. On 29 attempts, he threw under 100 yards. That's really worrying. You can say about, Bo Nix throwing behind the line. He would have had to throw one minus 70 yards, I'm assuming, to get under 100. It's really, really difficult to do that.
Yeah, but I agree. I think he's got the building blocks. I just think he's coming out first overall pick, I cannot imagine a worse feeling than coming into a subpar team as the number 1 overall pick of the draft and trying to be good.
But it's not though. But it's not because the Bears weren't the worst team in the league. They got the pick off the Panthers.
Yeah, but
they had pick 8 or something, didn't they? Because they just
put things around him.
What I mean is like the Bears in general are just like you said, they're the Bears.
The Bears.
But in Caleb was the first overall pick. Also the first overall pick QB to win since 2002.
Yeah. I think that was Matt Stafford, wasn't it?
No.
Brandon Johnson?
Oh no.
No. I've written it down somewhere. I can't read my own writing.
Yes, because you normally go to the worst team in the league, so the chance of you coming around and winning the first game of the season is damn near impossible.
Yeah,
it's the defense paled him out. It's only because he didn't go to the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
Trayvon Walker. That was 2022.
What are you talking about?
2002.
Oh, Dave.
David Carr.
David Carr. Thank you. Yeah. So I think Simone Biles' husband bailed him out. There we go.
I did. Let's go on to the Sunday night game then. So that was the LA Rams 20, Detroit Lions 26 after overtime. Matt Stafford overcame a pick in the end zone and a score of 17-3 to drag the Rams back to a 20-point tie at the end of regulation. Problem was the Lions got the ball to start overtime. We're happy to just basically run the ball all the way to the end zone for a walk-off home win for Detroit. Great game. But,
I love watching these two face off.
One team had to win.
Yeah. I think it's so fun. I think it's so they're Dan Campbell's Lions, so fun to watch. Real grit. I know they're rivals. I enjoy watching the Rams. I think they've got some good talent. I think obviously they got Cooper Kupp, they got Puka Nacua. I just think they're fun, and that is one of those games that I wouldn't have. Well, I did put a bet on, and I got the bet right. But if I was to bet a lot of money, I wouldn't want to put anything on that because that was literally came down to a coin toss, and that's how I think when they face off, that's how most of their games are going to go because they're pretty evenly matched, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing major to add. I like the Rams. I like the Rams, like the Lions.
The Lions.
I think it was a good game. Nothing major to say. I think it was anyone who watched the game knows exactly what sort of most people's thoughts would be. It was a close game. The better team won, and it's big boy football.
It was
So
big boy football.
On to Monday Night Football then. And
This was
no,
not big boy football.
no Christian McCaffrey, but no real surprises in the Monday night game. Aaron Rodgers survived the game, but had the same pedestrian numbers from his last season in Green Bay. Tyrod Taylor finished out the game as the Jets were too far behind to make any difference. Brock Purdy's efficiency and Jordan Mason stepping into the running back breach were too much for a Jets defense that was also a bit too porous on the night. The final score was the Jets 19, San Fran 32.
One of my Jets friends said it's nice that Aaron Rodgers is playing postseason football.
Yeah.
I said, what do you mean? He went losing to the 49ers. I was like, oh yes, good shout. Hadn't thought about
that. And did they bench Rodgers because they were like, oh, let's not damage him, or is it just because they don't think he's very good?
They put him in cotton wool, and because he's also the offensive coordinator and the GM, he made the call to put himself out for the rest of the game.
Man, just boring football. Jets are boring. And I'm still.
I'm not going to say Jets are boring. Jets are.
They had that broken play for the touchdown to Alan Lazard, which was, a typical Aaron Rodgers thing. Yeah, he got the two touchdowns for them.
I know. I was talking to Philly Syme. We're both laughing. Going, didn't Alan Lazard retire 5 years ago? And my message to him was, Alan Lazard. He got destroyed in fantasy because of it. I just think the Jets didn't fire. They came up against a bad team. I think that what they needed was a get right team. They needed they needed Denver, someone that they could sort of go in and just play big boy football against. And the Jets are best when they're bullying people. Even Sauce Gardner's a bully. He's very handsy and is able to really impose himself on wide receivers. I don't want to say hold, but impose himself on wide receivers. And you can't do that. You can't do that against Deebo Samuel. Samuel just swats him away. It's very difficult for the Jets to play their way against elite teams. I don't know who they've got in this coming week.
The Titans, week 2.
The Titans is a get right game, but the Titans defense is okay. But we'll see what the Jets are made of this week. If the Jets look this bad this week coming up, then all bets are off.
Oh yeah, you've got to beat the Titans, otherwise you're in trouble.
Not only have you got to beat them well. You've got to look good doing it. It's like when when a boxer loses a title fight.
Boxing analogy.
A boxer loses a title fight. His next fight is against, someone who's stepping up a weight from New Zealand. You go, who is this guy? And you have to check his boxing record. You need to win and you need to look good. That's what the Jets need to do.
Those were the games from week 1.
Loved it.
All done, all reviewed. Nice and neatly tied up there. Before we move on to week 2, we've got one more thing to do, and that is looking through the wrong uns that we had for week 1 then, Dave, after our picks in the preview pod last week. Okay, so strap in. There were 2 games when everyone got it wrong. We all picked the Falcons to beat the Steelers, and we all picked the Bengals to beat the Patriots. Those 2 did not come through.
We did.
And of course, you and Punk doubled down on the Falcons, so there is no extra point for you this week.
He did, and then he flashed me a smile, and then I agreed with him.
You stared into his beard, and that was it. It was game over. I've got no sympathy for you at all. There were 3 games where 3 of us got it wrong. The first one was the Buccaneers. So Punk, Dave, and Finn picked the Commanders. Me and Graham, for the people, picked the Buccaneers, so we were right there. The Chargers versus Raiders. Again, Punk, Finn, of course, and the people picked the Raiders, whereas me and Dave picked the Chargers, and I doubled down on the Chargers, so I get an extra point for this week. The other the 3-game incorrect pick was the Vikings and the Giants. So me, Punk, and Graham picked the Giants. Dave and Finn picked the Vikings on that one. And now we're on to Island picks. So where one of us was out on our own and we got it wrong. I picked the Colts to beat the Texans. I also picked the Rams to beat the Lions, so I lost 2 points there. Finn doubled down on the Texans, so he gets an extra point for this week. Dave, you picked the Jags to beat the Dolphins, so that didn't come through. And Punk picked the Ravens to beat the Chiefs. That did not happen. And then Graham, for the people, picked the Packers to beat the Eagles. He's a Packers fan. He picked the Jets to beat the 49ers. And he picked the Broncos to beat the Seahawks, even when you didn't. So that all shakes out. Well, I don't know. It was the first game of the season. Graham was full of beans. So it turned out.
I did say that the Seahawks would win because it was going to be too much for Bo Nix to go and play in Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
It was. It's not a hot take.
It turned out to happen. It turns out then that the people are on 9-7. And also his double down pick was the Packers, so that didn't come through for the people. The people went 9-7. Punk went 10-6. Dave is on 12-4.
I'll take 12-4. That's a good score.
I was on 11-5. My bonus pick makes me 12 points as well. So 12-5. And then Finn went 12-4, but he gets extra points, so he's now 13 points. So Finn is leading after 1 week of the pod versus the people. So Finn, me and Dave together on 12, then Punk, then the people. But there we go. So that was week 1. It is now
stupid
done.
idea was this double pick thing,
I don't know. We're going to keep with it though.
Might have been mine.
Yeah, I think it might be actually.
Yeah.
And don't forget that when you do this next week, it will have to be the pod versus the people versus Hannah. As Jim said, I was all on my own.
Yeah, you get your own one. There you go. Okay, so that is the end of week 1, on to week 2, and we need someone to do the picks for the people. We have someone for the people, and that is Aaron, who is a Dolphins fan. Aaron, thank you for coming back on the show, mate. How are you doing?
No, thanks for having me. I'm good, mate. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, they have a good week 1 for you.
It wasn't thrilling to watch, but a win's a win.
I was exciting to watch your wide receiver getting slammed to the floor. Oh, sorry, I'm talking about the game now. Yeah, got a good touchdown as well. Longest of his career, wasn't it? I think
it was 80-something, wasn't it? 80-something yards. It probably was.
I think it's one of those weird ones where it's actually turned out to be his longest. But yeah, congratulations on the comeback win against the Jags.
I was going to say, it's not his longest touchdown because his longest was a 99-yard return that he did on a touchback. But either way...
That's a return, though. That's special teams.
Either way, his longest touchdown of his career was not enough for me to win in fantasy this week. So, yeah, well done, Mike.
We're going to go through the games for week 2. We're going to get everyone's picks. I've got Finn's and Punk's, even though they're not here. So I'll be shouting those out as we go along. We're going to start with the Thursday night game. It is the Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins. Now, Aaron, obviously you are a Dolphins fan, so I'm expecting not to be slightly than biased at all when you pick who you're picking for this win.
Of course, yeah. I've weighed it up, and I think the Dolphins are going to win.
Congratulations.
On Thursday night. It was a hard choice. Obviously, I think the way they've done the fixes this year, the weather doesn't favour either team. So playing them before it's too cold will suit us, but I think it's not going to be as warm when they play us at halfway. So we're 1 in the last 13, I think, against them. So it's not great, but Dolphins for me. Okay.
Hannah, let's go for you next.
This is difficult because I genuinely love both of these teams. I think it's going to be the Bills, just because when Josh Allen has a game like he did this week just gone, he always comes back better. So he had a really good game last week. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a really good game. But my gut is telling me the Bills.
Okay. Dave, how about you?
Miami, not close. Buffalo really struggle when they play against teams who run the ball effectively, and Miami do that better than anyone, apart from 49ers, but yeah.
Okay. Well, you'll be happy to know, Aaron, that both me, Finn, and Punk have also gone for the Dolphins. So it's a 5-1 split.
Of course, Finn and Punk have gone from there. They've basically got the same picks all the time. That's what they do. They just copy each other.
Well, yeah, it's not going to change anytime soon, Dave. Just
no,
warning you there.
That.
Let's move on to the 6 o'clock games on Sunday. We're going to start with the New Orleans Saints at the Dallas Cowboys. So, Hannah, who's winning this one?
I hate to say it. I think the Cowboys are going to win it. I never want the Cowboys to win ever, but
no one does.
Yeah, but
okay. Not on your stable of teams that you like, then.
I just don't think that. I think the Saints are going to come in really cocky because they beat the worst team in the league, but they're not going to think of that. They're just going to be like, "We smashed this," and then they're going to beep out. So
Derek
I
Carr for
disagree.
MVP.
I think the Saints still know that they're a bit that they basically played a college team. I'll go next because I've interrupted. Apologies, but I think it'll be really, really, really close, and I'm going to bet on New Orleans against the spread on my betting site. I think Dallas just about scrape it though. I think it's going to be a really, really close one because I like the way New Orleans play defense at the moment.
So you're going for the Saints?
Yeah. I'm going for Dallas, but I will go.
Oh, wait a minute.
No. I'm going for Dallas. I think they win it, but I'm going with the spread on my but it will be very, very close. But yeah, Dallas.
Oh dear, Aaron, how about you?
The same as the other two. I'm going with Dallas. I think I don't think it will be close. I think the only reason we might think that is because the offense was firing last week, and you're right there. The defense is quite good, but I don't think it's that close. I think that Dallas win by probably a couple scores.
The thing is, don't be fooled by Dallas. They were always good in week one, always.
Yeah.
I think last year they scored 140 points against the Giants. I don't think the Giants put anything on the board. So,
well, that's the Giants. You are right. You know, the Cowboys aren't Carolina, and it's a 6-team shutout as far as we're concerned in the picks. No one has gone for the Saints. The next game is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Detroit Lions. Both these teams won last week. Both looked very good. So, Dave, who are you pitching for?
Detroit.
Your
no
second team
required.
Why'd I go to you? Aaron?
I'm a bit tall. I don't know. The Lions didn't blow away. Well, it went overtime last week, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
They didn't fly past the Rams.
Against a very good team, though.
It was.
Well, Bucs are a very good team.
True. So I am torn on it. My instinct's saying the Lions, though. I know they weren't, like I said, Amon-Ra didn't put too much up last week. Both running backs obviously played quite well, but I think they'll get it a bit more going this week, and the Lions will pull through. But like you said, Dave, tough game.
Hannah.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know. I think
flip a coin.
I know that both teams have obviously their strengths and weaknesses. I love Baker Mayfield, but I think the Lions are going to edge it. They always come into a season in this new Dan Campbell era. They come into a season absolutely all guns blazing.
It's tough to bet against them, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm gonna say Lions, but
okay. Dave, you flipping the coin for Hannah?
I've just flipped a coin. It came up against the Lions, but hey, go be hot.
Picking the Lions.
Lions.
Okay, I'm also going for the Lions. They're at home. They're legit. I think they're going to win that game. So does Punk, and he's actually doubling down. So we've got our first double down of the week.
Good shout.
Punk has gone for the Lions to beat the Bucs, and of course Finn's copied him and gone for the Lions as well.
Has he doubled down as well?
No, he didn't double down as well. I didn't tell him about the double downs, otherwise he might have done. So next up, it is the Indianapolis Colts at the Green Bay Packers with Malik Willis under center. Hannah, any hope for the Pack?
No.
No?
No. I'm sorry.
I agree. I don't think anyone's gone for Green Bay, and we should ban doubling down on this game because Malik Willis is garbage.
And also Love's out, isn't he, for 6 weeks?
Yeah.
So he might have made me hesitate another 5 seconds if he was still in. But I think he's such a strong leader, especially for that young core group, that without him they're going to struggle mentally, and I just think they're going to go up against a better team.
How about you, Aaron?
I think you're saying all about the quarterback situation. If Malik Willis got beat out by Will Levis, then he can't be any good. So it's got to be the Colts. Richardson looked all right last week as well. I won't discredit the Colts. They looked
more than all right. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah. It's a sweep. It's a sweep for the Colts, unsurprisingly.
Can I just say the favourite thing I've heard this week on Twitter, X, whatever it's called this week,
Twitter,
was that it went so well in week one for the NFL, taking football to somewhere where it's never been before. Next season, they're considering sending it to Carolina. I was like, wow, that is bad.
The next game is the New York Jets at the Tennessee Titans. Strap in for this one, boys. Dave, what are we doing?
I want to know what Hannah thinks because she hates the Jets. So I'm going to assume I'm going for the Jets because the Titans are rubbish. But
right.
You have to be true to your word.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
To be fair, you did say on last time that their defense was rubbish, and we were all like, No, they're not. And then week 1, their defense was rubbish.
It wasn't great. I mean, they could do with a pass rusher, like a Hassan Reddick type, maybe.
Yeah. Or maybe spend,
so
a couple of
much.
first-round picks on someone. Who knows?
Maybe don't have a quarterback who's old and mental. Anyway, I just can't say it. I can't say it. I'm going to have to go with the Titans because I physically cannot say that I want them. I think they're going to win because they're not going to. They're not a good team, and they don't even have the excuse of their saving grace Aaron Rodgers being injured. He still wasn't that good because he's a million years old and hyped on mushrooms all the time.
Let's not talk about how old he is. He's younger than me.
In sporting terms, he's a million years old.
Thank you.
So I'm not a sportsman.
I'm so you're a prime athlete, Dave. I'm sorry.
Sumo.
Sumo.
Yeah, I just think and as well, obviously Levis had a shocker of a game last week. I
think that was his best game.
Yeah, but I just think they're more together as a team. I think the Jets are focused too much on who they have individually on the roster rather than on a team. And I have faith that the Titans are going to pick Levis up and give him good confidence, and it'll be close. But I physically cannot say that the Jets are going to win. So Titans.
Okay. Tennessee defense is good, in fairness.
It is. Aaron, can you physically say the Jets will win the game as a Dolphins fan?
I would rather not.
But
it's divisional rival for him, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah, I would rather not. But I just slagged off all of this. I think Tennessee got a good defense, but the Jets also do have a defense, but they do also have a bit more going on offense. I've got Brees to win fantasy for the 3rd year in a row, so he has to. So the Jets will win, I think.
Okay. Well, it's a 5-1 split as both me, Finn, and Punk have gone for the Jets as well. Sorry, Hannah. We could say the Jets will win the game.
I mean, valid, but...
Right. So then the San Francisco 49ers are at the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings surprised a few people by not being absolutely terrible in week 1. But Hannah, who are you picking for this win? Obviously, a division rival as well in the Niners.
Yeah, San Fran, though. I just think they're...
No Christian McCaffrey, as far as we're aware.
Doesn't make a difference.
He's out.
So okay, like they're going to win. They might not win by as many points as they used to, but they looked strong without him this week. And Brock Purdy is no longer Mr. Irrelevant. We all know how I feel about Brock Purdy. It's very positive. And I think they're hungry after losing the Super Bowl. I think we're going to storm it this year. So yeah, 49ers. Don't tell Tonya I said that, but 49ers.
I won't. Aaron, how about you?
No, I agree. Like you said, even without CMC, they're still going to have a 100-yard rusher, 200-yard receivers probably. Sam Darnold played quite well on the weekend, but he's probably going to end up backing up with a 2-interception game against this 49ers being a handful of sacks. So, yeah, 49ers.
Dave, anything to say for your Minnesota Vikings?
Nope. Niners.
No, okay, right. It's a shutout. We're all picking the Niners.
I like Minnesota. I just don't think they're quite there.
No. So then, the Seattle Seahawks are playing the New England Patriots in New England. Dave, who's winning?
I mean, come on.
What?
Seattle. This is. I don't.
We said that about the Bengals last week.
Yes, the sun does not shine on a dog's arse twice. I think that's the saying. It's just not going to happen. I just genuinely do not see it. At first-hand experience, there is no way that New England team is beating them. It's just not happening.
Okie dokie. Yeah, I mean, you felt the full wrath of the Seahawks. Aaron, how about you?
Yeah, no, I agree. I won't be going with another divisional rival. The Seahawks dog walk.
This could be quick.
Yeah.
Hannah? Just your Seahawks logo on your jersey.
Don't even need to say anything.
Absolutely. We're obviously.
You won't be surprised to know that the conjoined twins, Punk and Finn, have both gone for the Seahawks. I've also gone for the Seahawks, and I'm doubling down. I'm picking the Seahawks to double down, mate.
You can't double down in this
game.
Away. That's a joke.
They're away.
No way.
Jesus
they could play it in another continent.
You're making a mockery of this, Jim.
They've got to go the entire way across the country.
Seahawks. Doesn't matter.
Team that won against the Bengals, they're on a high.
Does not make a single bit of difference. We should veto that. I'm sorry.
You want to veto my double down?
100%. It's the Patriots just because they won one
What's
game.
What's the odds on it? Yeah,
No.
What's the
spread's 100 points.
No, it's not.
No. Pick a different one. I'm not having it. Sorry, Jim.
You probably want a rule. Yeah, you probably want a spread.
Pick something else.
The line must be better than.
That's not fair. I can pick the Seahawks if I want.
No, I think that's okay. I think that's okay. I think that's the only reason why.
Yeah.
When they're 5-1,
they play well.
You've got to stop picking them.
Yeah, in week 15 when they're 1-14,
yeah,
look back on me and go, "Damn, Dave, you were right in week 2."
Oh,
get away with it. I'm not having
spots. You're like, all right, fine. I'll pick another team. You see if I don't.
So, crack on. I don't care.
Up yours, Dave. Right, so
double down on this.
I don't see how that's not a bad one. Right, so then we've got the New York Giants at the Washington Commanders.
Don't think you're doubling down on this either.
Who's doubling down on this? Aaron.
No one.
Aaron, who are you going for?
Commanders. Yeah, Jaden Daniels looked probably the brightest rookie quarterback on the weekend.
I'd go with that. I think he looked okay.
I think the coach said the other day a lot of the plays that he was running on weren't designed QB running plays, and he wants him to be a throw first QB. We'll see how that develops because he looks quite good rushing. So, like you said, if they can string that together, this is going to be a great practice game for them on the weekend. This is the best chance he's going to get some real life action for that. So yeah, Commanders.
Hannah.
Yeah, Commanders. I think overall, they got a better core. They played a real tough game last week as well.
Yeah.
And I think they came out the best I've seen them since they've been called the Commanders, quite frankly. So yeah, I'm on the Washington train.
And Dave.
Low score game, but Commanders win.
Yeah, there's space between these two teams
less
now.
Than 20 points between them.
Last couple of years they've been taking wins off each other, but I think that Commanders have got the edge on them now. So everyone's going for the Commanders. Everyone's going for the Commanders. Then we've got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Carolina Panthers.
I want to double down on this. No,
yeah.
I was going to double down. Hang on, it's my turn. Is anyone going to say anything for Carolina?
No.
Okay, all right. We'll play the bugle for that one. So everyone's gone for the Chargers to win that game. So the Cleveland Browns at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hannah.
Think it's going to be the Jags, but as soon as the Browns get rid of Deshaun Watson, I'm going to pick them to win everything.
That won't be this week, though.
Oh
so,
my God!
That won't be this week. So yeah, it's got to be the Jags.
Okay, Dave.
Jacksonville.
Aaron, that's what we're getting out of him.
I'm gonna say the same. After watching them against us last week, they weren't bad. They started well. We had to turn on in the second half to pull it back, but I think they've got enough to beat Cleveland.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the Browns were dead on arrival last week against the Cowboys as well. Everyone's gone for the Jags, and Finn's doubled down on this.
Double down.
It's a bit cheap, but we'll give him it.
Oh, okay, we'll give him that. All right.
No,
yeah, the Browns are significantly better than the Giants. New England even.
All right. Well, I'll double down as well.
Mixed up. You double down as well. That's fine.
I'll double down as well. Thanks. Yeah, I'll take the Jags over the Browns every day of the week.
Hope they lose.
They might do now.
I can't believe I just said that. I feel dirty.
All right. The Las Vegas. I'm trying to think of where they are this week. The Las Vegas Raiders are at the Baltimore Ravens. So, Aaron, who do you think?
Can I jump in with a double down on the Ravens on this one?
Oh,
double down.
Oh,
yes, we can.
Yeah, all right.
I wonder why.
I'm not doubling down on
the
this.
Ravens started 0-1, but they played the Chiefs. Do you know what I mean? I think they've got too much. I think the Raiders hung in there a little bit last week, but I couldn't tell you what they do well. It's just all okay. So yeah, Ravens got too much from them, I think.
Okay, Dave.
I think there's a real chance Lamar Jackson gets injured in this game because we know how much he loves breaking through the line. And if he runs into any of the three monsters on that Raiders defensive line, it can be real trouble. Keep him clean, pass the ball, you'll be fine. This bizarrely, I think, is going to be quite a close game. The spread, I think, is completely wrong, but I'm going to go Baltimore. This could be one of those weird games, though, like properly weird games where you go, hang on a minute, why? How have they got 9 turnovers because of fumbles and just random is going to happen in this game? I think, but I think Baltimore squeeze it out because they're a better team.
Okay, Hannah.
I am going to go with Las Vegas.
Woo!
I don't think that's crazy. I genuinely don't think that's crazy.
No, I think
the way that Lamar breaks and that defensive line, I think it's.
And also, something that killed them last week was all the penalties. Are they? I know they're playing at home, blah blah blah, but I just love me that Gardner Minshew. Can't lie. I think he's got the chutzpah. Yeah, I think it will be a close game. I think it might be one of the best games of the weekend if they both come full form. But I love, so I'm going to go Raiders.
This is probably not going to help for any of the listeners, but if Aaron grows a bit of a mullet, he's got a bit of Gardner Minshew about him.
Yeah, he's got the first half going.
Yeah, he's got the
tash. The front's in place. Just need the mullet round the back.
There's no party in the back. Yeah.
There's no party. Yeah. It's all business with Aaron. Okay, so we've got 3 picks for the Ravens, have we? I got that right?
I think so.
We've actually got 6 because all of us have picked the. No, we've got 5 because Hannah's picked the Raiders. Sorry, all the boys have gone for the Ravens, but Hannah's stuck her neck out there and gone for the Raiders. I love some of these picks, Hannah. I love the enthusiasm. So 9:05 games. We've only got one of them this week. It's the LA Rams at the Arizona Cardinals NFC West matchup. We'll come to Hannah last, obviously. So, Dave, how about you, mate?
Arizona. Don't know why. Got a bit of a funny feeling. And I like Kyler Murray.
They played well last week.
Yeah, I know. But one swallowed doesn't make a summer. I don't know if that's the same. I just got a funny feeling.
Spring?
I don't know. I've just got a funny feeling, and I like Kyler Murray. I think they're a decent team.
Yeah.
He needs to stop looking for Harrison on every single play, though, because that's getting a bit boring pretty quickly.
Aaron, how about you?
I'm going to go Rams. Did just see the news recently. Puka Nakua's on IR.
Yeah.
But I don't think that matters. Obviously, he showed he targeted cut 24 times. That'll work most of the time anyway.
Yeah, it worked all right. Yeah.
But then the other guys that filled in did quite well. So Rams for me.
Okay, Hannah.
Rams.
You hate both these teams.
Nah, I know they're rivals, whatever. Rams, because A, I think they're the better team. And B, I am still really upset that the Cards have DJ Dallas. I'm not going to get over that anytime soon.
Okay.
So,
the tight end who used to play for Seattle?
No, it's not a tight end. It's a running back.
A running back.
Is it?
A running back. He's got the 99-yard return or whatever.
Yes, he did. The first ever dynamic kickoff touchdown. Yeah, awesome. DJ Dallas, doesn't he? Damn it. So,
Just goes to prove there are 2 Mr. Irrelevants in that division.
Ooh.
DJ Dallas. Do not be hurt by DJ Dallas. It's not a thing. Don't worry.
Don't mention any of Dave's favourites from Denver because no one else remembers them. But
I was going to say, people have favourites from Denver? Really?
Who was the fullback you loved the most? Who was it?
Yanovich.
Andy Yanovich, right?
Andy Yanovich, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's wrong with him? He's just one of my favourites.
We made that whole bit and I still forgot his name. I still didn't.
That wasn't a bit. I genuinely love him. He was a great player.
This is an interesting game. We have got an even split here because 3 of us have gone for the Cardinals and 3 have gone for the Rams. And actually, we've got a split between Finn and Punk because Finn's gone for the Rams and Punk and I have gone for the Cardinals. So
interesting.
Both these teams played well last week, and I think that at home
was going out on a limb a little bit.
They take chunks out of each other. No, me and Punk have gone for it as well. They take chunks out of each other in this division. So yeah, I think that the home team might get the win there. We'll wait and see. So then we've got the 9:25. There's 2 games here. The first one is the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Denver Broncos. So Aaron.
I think we look at another Boswell masterclass this weekend.
Beautiful, yeah.
Just another field goal frenzy for Pittsburgh.
Hang his leg in the Louvre.
Yeah, and then Denver scrape 3 or 6 points, maybe.
It's going to end 6-3.
Somewhere along those lines. Yeah, that's what I can see happening. Yeah, I've got Pittsburgh by more field goals than Denver get field goals.
Big win. I hear you. Hanah, how about you?
I mean, any team that can win a game and not score any touchdowns, you got to give props to, right?
It's a proper football team.
That's me on Madden every week.
Yeah, if you mean soccer, then yeah. But no, I am going to go, providing Russ is still out, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh.
Okay. Dave, how about you, mate? Who are you going for in this game?
Sorry,
No,
Dave.
Dave, sorry, it's fine. Broncos.
No, really?
You want to lose
100%,
another
I know,
point?
right?
I mean, you're struggling already, mate.
Absolutely shocked, I know.
You're going for the Broncos, really?
Yeah, of course.
Double win for me then this week. Okay. Well, I've gone for the Steelers, unsurprisingly.
Really?
Yeah, and Punk and Finn have gone for the Steelers. So good luck, Bo, against that defense. You're going to need it. The other 9:25 game is the Cincinnati Bengals at the Kansas City Chiefs. Another AFC North team that has a unhealthy obsession with the Chiefs. So who's going to win this one? Hanah.
Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
Okay.
The Chiefs. They're going to three-peat. They're going to three-peat, and I just think they're going to have storms. Bengals were very disillusioned last week, and I don't think a week is enough time for Burrow to crawl out of whatever hole he's decided to pop into. And yeah, I just think it's always a great game. I love them, watching them two play, but I think Chiefs are going to do it.
Dave?
Kansas, since he was so bad, I think they'll need more than a week to correct it.
Aaron, any love for Cincinnati?
I think they'll get better this week. I think they will improve. But like I said, I think it's not going to be enough. Like you said, on 1 week's notice, they weren't good enough. I think T. Higgins might be fit. But again, they need 10 more options, not just one more option.
It doesn't rain but it pours for the Bungles, does it? You know, you get the Chiefs in week 2. Everyone has gone for the Chiefs then. That's a 6-0 slide on that one. The late game on Sunday is the Chicago Bears at the Houston Texans. Both these teams won in week 1. Aaron, who do you think is going to win in week 2?
Texans win this one. They got too much for the Bears D. The Bears D carried the Bears last week. And I don't think their offense is going to improve massively. But the Texans of CJ Stroud's just too much. Diggs obviously settled in quite well, as well as already having Tank Dell and Nico Collins. I think they just got too much for Texans win. Okay.
Hanah?
Yeah. Texans, I think they're a superior team. I love them under CJ. And he stormed out of my fantasy. So I'm supporting CJ yet again with all of his weapons. Texans.
Dave?
I think if Houston stopped playing at half time and just left Chicago out on the field on their own, they'd probably still win. I don't think it's that close. I'm going to double down, and I think it will be an absolute rout.
Wait a minute. Oh, I don't know about this. I don't know if this
both teams
against
hang
the
on,
against the Bears. Yeah, so the Patriots.
Hang on,
Not sure about this.
Let's examine it. If you want to veto it, that's fine. I don't feel like the Texans versus the Bears is a ridiculous pick.
Well, let's just say for a start that all of us.
I'll be interested to see the line compared to the New England game. Yeah,
I can have a look at that while we're
Are
investigating.
Texans bigger favourites than Seattle?
Almost certainly not.
Do you not reckon?
No, but I can have a look.
The Texans are not the Titans, and I don't see a way that the Bears can beat this Texans team. Although I have to disagree a little bit with Aaron. I think that the offense has got nowhere to go but up now with the Bears. And
you're not wrong.
Caleb got through the first game, no interceptions, which is a massive thing for a rookie because it's so easy to throw picks. But he at least took care of the ball for the most part. He also had a big learning lesson in that game that you can't just scramble around like you could at USC and not get tackled by the big boys. He understands now he's got to pick it up for week 2. And he's got a better head coach than Justin Fields had when he was there as a rookie. So he's got a better chance of potentially not getting killed in game 2. I think it's going to be a little bit tighter, but I still think it's a bit too one-sided for me, Dave.
I can't log into my betting account. I forgot my password. It won't let me do it. I'm quite happy
They choked you out.
And it's certainly not for making too much money. I can tell you that much.
Listen, good.
As I vetoed one for you, I'm more than happy to. It's just going to go on the next game anyway. So there we go. Which it still isn't a bad pick, if I'm honest.
Wow.
But I don't see this game being particularly close because of what I saw against the Bears, because of what I saw with the Bears in week 1. I still think the Bears will be fine. It's not got too much talent. But as I said in week 1, it's just going to take a bit of time.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got everyone picking the Texans. The Monday night game is the Atlanta Falcons, fresh off a loss, at the Philadelphia Eagles, back from Brazil, in one piece. So, Aaron, play us out, mate. Who is winning this game?
Eagles win. I think Eagles just run the ball better, and Falcons are obviously setting up for that with Bijan, but I don't think they're ready yet. Still going to need some time, that Falcons, to get far enough.
Dave?
I think when the Falcons aren't playing a defensive front like the Steelers, they'll look a lot better. Stating the bloody obvious there. But I still go Eagles, and I'm going to have to double down on this one.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Eagles.
I think the Falcons are really good with the weapons they've got on offense. Genuinely, Drake London's fantastic. I think what we saw from Kyle Pitts in week 1 was really very good. It looked like he could actually block for once. I mean, he was having to go on 2-on-1 assignments a lot of the time. It was covering the A gap pretty well when he was pulling inside as well, which was interesting to see a tight end do. You don't often see that on packages with Atlanta, but overall, I don't think this week's just going to be a little bit too much for him.
Hannah, how about you? Any love for Atlanta?
No, never. The only team I hate more than the Cowboys is the Falcons. They do not deserve Kirk Cousins. He deserves to be in a much better place. And irrelevant of that, Eagles doubling down. Love him.
Okay.
Double down.
Mic drop.
So we've got a sweep for the Eagles. Yes, everyone has gone for the Eagles. And as you noticed, well, some of you might have noticed, there was only one difference between Punk and Finn in the entire picks. And there were no differences between me and Punk in the entire picks. That's never happened before. In all the years that we've been doing this, I've never picked exactly the same as him, but we have genuinely picked all 16 games exactly the same. So
I think yours and my difference is only really the Broncos. And
there's not a lot of games here
Steelers.
that we think are swinging when Hannah's one is out on the limb for the most part.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be a tight week. I think we're going to win and lose together. But there we go. Aaron, thank you so much for coming and doing the picks, mate. It's always a pleasure to have you on, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Excellent. Best luck for the Dolphins for the rest of the season.
Not that much luck.
Quite a bit. Win the division. Win the division for us.
Yeah.
Excellent. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that's everything done. We're going to be back, obviously, next week when they're going to be reviewing week 2 and looking forward to week 3 with another person up against the pod. Hannah, thank you so much for coming on and fill in for both Finn and Punk Raider.
Quadruple
easily covered it on your own. But thank you so much. It's always great having you on. A completely different voice. Here.
Thank you so much.
Anytime. And Dave, always a pleasure having you on, mate. Especially as we're about to whip you this weekend.
Whatever.
I can't wait.
Listen, the only
week 2 review.
The last thing I want to say is, as long as there are positives, that's all you ask for when you got a rookie quarterback. It kind of doesn't matter if you win or lose. It's just, are there positives?
It's the taking part that counts. You sound like me,
Dave. Look who's lowering that
it's
bar.
Not.
Dave,
no,
you sound like me.
It's not the winning. Look, the Broncos, we didn't mention the double safety. We didn't mention how the defense played, because that's not what it's about for the Broncos this season. It's about how's the quarterback developing, because that's all that matters.
I really appreciate neither of you mentioning the double safety, because I'm sad.
Well, in the end, it didn't count.
It was fine. It's one of those. It's a nice thing, but ultimately it doesn't matter. If if you have something like that happen, there was a game a couple of years ago. Someone got like 3 interceptions in a quarter and still lost. Well, in that case, the 3 interceptions are meaningless. It literally doesn't matter. But it's just about progress on offense for the Broncos, and that's all.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
well-
make sure you're following us on the social medias and signing up to the Patreon, patreon.com/final down. You can do it for free, or you can give us a little bit of money because we're going to be doing extra stuff that you can catch on early release there. So if you can, please do. It helps us to support the show. But yeah, that's everything. So until next week, and hopefully have you back very soon, Hannah. I've been Jim. That's been Never Dave. That's been Hannah, and thank you very much for listening.
Thanks so much, gang.